Hi you guys, this is Radeysi from my Catholic Girls, and I wanted to share with you guys my testimony on how I came to love Jesus. I met Jesus when I was 21 years old, and I was already a young mother. And actually, let me take it back a little bit of when I was 17, when I found out I was pregnant. So I was 17 when I was pregnant, and I was still in high school. I was in my junior year, I remember. And I remember fearing having to tell my mom the fact that I was pregnant. And so I sat her down and I was like, Mom, we need to talk. She's like, oh, what's going on, Radey? What's the matter? You look sick. Are you sick? And I'm like, nah, I'm not sick, Mom. What's the matter? And I looked at her and I told her I was pregnant. She stared at me with disappointment in her face and got up, grabbed her keys, grabbed her purse and left. I didn't know what to do. I started crying. I went upstairs to my room. After a couple minutes, I got a knock on my door, and it's my grandmother, and she tells me I could have never sworn that this was going to happen to you, Radeysi, that you would ever do this to us. And I'm like, Abuela, that's not what I meant to do. I never wanted to do this, And she was like, well, your mom doesn't want you here. She wants you to leave before she gets back home. I was in total shock. I did not fully understand why my mom was acting like this. I remember grabbing a couple of my clothes thinking, oh, she'll get over it, and leaving. I went with my baby's father for a couple of weeks, and my mom changed the locks on the doors so I wouldn't get back in. My mother took down all my pictures and told my brothers not to talk to me. Told my brothers that it seemed like I no longer existed to the family. They wasn't allowed to talk about me, to talk to me. They had to sneak phone calls to call me in the middle of the night as we cried our eyes out every single time we talked. Of course, at this time, I'm living with my son's father, and his parents said it was too much of a burden to be living with a pregnant woman. That they could not have me living in their house. It was too much responsibility. So I left. I had to leave. I was going to school acting like everything was okay. Leaving school thinking about what should I do, Should I get an abortion? I can't raise this baby on my own. Should I give it up for adoption? I couldn't, in my mind, I couldn't do anything on my own. I remember being almost 7 or 8 months, I remember, and I had a complication with my pregnancy. And I was bleeding, and I told my grandmother about it. My grandmother ended up telling my mom, and my mom allowed me to move back in because she started realizing that there was nowhere I would be able to give birth to this child and live somewhere. I would be homeless with a baby and still going to school. We lived together and situations didn't get easier. It didn't get easier. But I remember just erasing what had happened and moving forward, right? My son was 3 years old when I met Jesus. And when I met him, I was in a part of my life where I just didn't care about what happened. What happened next? I would drink, I would party, I would smoke, I would do everything that this world has to offer to give you some temporary love. That's what I was doing. Having sex, doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing with multiple people. It called me, you know. It seemed like this is what I was supposed to be living. And God takes me and he tells me he loves me, you know. And I believed it. And he starts showing me that even though everyone around me hurt me, he never did. He never left my sight. He was there for me no matter what. He showed me that even though I was homeless, I never one day slept outside. Even though I was homeless, I never one day went without food. I never had the chance to say I was hungry while I was pregnant. And that in his own was him. He lifted me up, showed me how much he loved me. And this is why today I cannot stop serving him. Wholeheartedly, I can't. It's within me to serve him the way I serve him. I pray to God that you too can find him in that way. That you too can have a story to tell someone else to say, he saved me. And he is more than willing to do the same with you. Now that you got to know me a little better, hope you come to understand why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to evangelize to you, so you can get closer to God. He's the only way to salvation, the only way to true happiness, to true love. Alright, God bless you guys. Love you. We'll be posting up more videos.